fellowship here, and thank you. I feel incredibly welcome. I usually always start talking by saying life as you know it can change in a moment. And we all know that life is about change, right? It's supposed to change. We evolve, we grow. A lot of times it's because we have a goal, and so we plot a path so that we can reach that goal. And we make plans so that we can stay on it. And so there's choices to make all the way along that path to get to where we want to go. And sometimes the choice of another person can totally derail you from that path. And that choice can be one that causes irreparable damage. It leaves an indelible mark on everyone, on both sides of the choice. And it causes a ripple effect that never reaches the shore. And such is a choice that was made on March 26, 2003, that affected my family. You know, at the time, we were a family of 4, mom, dad, an older brother, and a little sister, 14 and 12, Robbie and Tori. And we were the same as every other family. We had our challenges, we had our goals, and we had our plotted path that we wanted to follow. But March 26, 2003, when we woke up, there was nothing that told us that life was going to change. Everything was the same. I mean, other than the fact that Dad and I weren't going to work that day, we were taking it off so that we could get some things done around the house. We were going to wait for the kids to come home from school. We were going to spend some time together that afternoon. Usually when you'd run home from work, we'd be out the door to karate. I wasn't a soccer mom, I was a karate mom. There was a little bit of a difference in that. But it didn't turn out that way. See, that morning when we got up and we kind of stayed out of the way, because 4 people all getting ready to leave and go on their way in the morning in one bathroom can make for a very busy morning. So with only 2 of us having to get out the door that day, I thought things would go smoothly. Rob made it out the door on time to head to the bus stop, and Tori, at 12 years old and being a middle schooler, was a little bit particular about things. And it was taking her longer to get ready. And finally, I remember hearing her yell from the kitchen, "Mom, love you, see you, bye." And something told me to ask her to wait. And I walked to the kitchen, and that meant that I got a hug, I got a kiss, I got an "I love you" from my daughter. And I will be forever grateful that I did, because that was the very last time that I ever got to hear Tori say my name. It was the last time that I ever felt my daughter put her arms around me. Tori never came back through that door again. See, when my kids were going off to get ready for school and they were headed to the bus stop, down the road, there was a neighbor who was struggling with choices in her life. And unfortunately, she started making some bad choices. And then about the time that my kids got off of the school bus and they were making that short walk home from that bus stop, she made another bad choice. And she got in the car to drive. And at 2:10 in the afternoon, she brushed past my son and she slammed into the back of my daughter. And the first that we knew what happened was, instead of hearing that back door open, I heard something else. And what it was this howling sound. It was this mournful, painful sound that was coming from my backyard. And I got up and I ran to the door, because my mother's instinct told me that that was not a wounded animal. That was not something that I could ignore. It was my son. And he was standing in the backyard and he was jumping up and down and he was screaming and he was saying, "She's been hit. Oh my God, she's been hit." And in that moment, everything that we knew changed. Life as you know it can change in a moment. And somehow we found ourselves running out the back door. We ran down the stairs, through the yard, jumped a fence, until we found Tori and where she was lying on the ground. And I will never forget the sight of my daughter laying there broken and bloodied. I will never forget how it felt to not know if she, looking at her, you didn't know if she could still be alive, or if it didn't seem as though she should be. She was so broken and she was so bloodied at the side of the road. We were really fortunate because help came quickly, and it came in the form of the West Warwick Police and the West Warwick Fire Department. And I can tell you that they have been by our side ever since for these past 16 years. This is really an incredible community, and we found that out the hard way. But in that moment, we were separated as a family. The boys were taken off by detectives, and Tori was put into a rescue, and I was standing there alone at the side of the road, and the rescue was getting ready to leave, and I just remember I opened the door and I jumped in, and I was holding on to the seat, watching the events unfold. And certainly was a heavenly hand that was guiding the EMTs in that rescue, because my daughter left us at one point on that ride to the hospital. Her heart stopped. And for the whole rest of the ride from West Warwick to Kent County Hospital, they tried to revive her. And I remember that when we got to the hospital and they took Tori out and took her into the triage, and they were trying to guide me towards the family room, and they wanted me to go in, I was so stubborn. And I didn't want to go in that family room because I knew that's where they told you that you lost the people you love. Well, we were really blessed because we didn't lose Tori. Tori is still with us. And it's no longer the drunk driver that threatens to take her from us. It's the medical fragility that comes from 16 years of a devastating illness. See, as much as the doctors and the nurses could put Tori back together, that they could mend her broken bones and that they could stitch her back up, what they couldn't do was repair the damage to her brain. So this really bright little girl who had the best laugh and gave the biggest hugs, and she was just the glue that held everyone together. She took care of everybody, and now everybody takes care of her 24/7. Tori still gives. Tori takes care of us in so many other ways. See, at 12 years old, her favorite movie was Pay It Forward. 12 years old, Pay It Forward. And when we first found ourselves in this situation, I mean, obviously we were consumed by Tori and what her needs were at the time. And this community of West Warwick rallied around us, and they held us, and they supported, and they lifted us. And when you've taken care of your family the best that you can all those years, it's really difficult to say, yes, I need help. And one of the things that allowed us to do it, or helped us to do it, because obviously you'll do whatever you have to do for your children, was to say, when it's our turn, we'll give back. We'll pay it forward in honor of Tori. So one of the ways we try to do that is through sharing our story, in hopes that people can realize that the choices you make as individuals can have consequences that go so far beyond yourselves. You have to take a moment. You have to think through your choice. Because life as you know it can change in a moment. So one of the things that we did is we set up a foundation in Tori's name. And truly, the foundation of our foundation, if you would, are 4 words: choices, moments, courage, and hope. A choice brought us to this place, a reckless choice, if you would, maybe a selfish choice. But another choice can take us all out of this place of uncertainty. A responsible choice, a thoughtful choice, a choice to drive free, to be substance free. It leads to being regret free. No one wants to live with that burden on them, knowing that they changed the course of someone's life in such a devastating way. No one wins. Everyone loses. As I said before, I feel as though we are truly, truly blessed. With life, there is hope. We still have Tori. It's all about the moments that you get to share with the people that you love. how you spend those moments. Knowing that the choices you make are going to dictate those moments, and they can be moments you long to relive or live to regret. So it takes courage. Courage to do the right thing, courage to stand up, to stand out, to make the difference. And that's what gives us the hope. The hope that we can leave our house. We don't have to hold our breath until all of our family members get home safely. Gives us hope that we can work together to change the culture and make it safer on the roadways for everyone. Tori was always reaching out to other people. A couple of weeks before the crash, she had found out that one of the students at her school was diagnosed with a brain injury, a brain tumor. And Tori, being Tori, wanted to do something. So she asked me if I would take her to the mall, a 12-year-old's favorite place, right? But I said yes, of course I would. And when we got there, Tori had a plan in mind. There was a kiosk that sold little knick-knacky or tchotchke things. And she thought that she would get this young girl a worry stone. And when she got to the kiosk and she looked around, she changed her mind and she picked up a pocket angel instead. And by the time she got to the cash register, she had not one, but dozens of pocket angels in her hand. And I looked at her and I said, Tori, seriously? You are 12 years old, girl. Do you know that many people who have issues? And she looked me right back in the eye, and in her wisdom way beyond her years, she said, Mom, sometimes we all need something to hold on to. She was absolutely right. We do. We need something to hold on to. And whether what you choose to hold on to is your self-respect, if you choose to hold on to your goals that you have plotted and planned for, you hold on to the love that you have for family and friends, you hold on to your belief in God. Hold on. Make the choice. Make the right choice. When you leave here this evening, on the table, there's a small mason jar. And it has little shiny blue things. If you choose, please pick one up. Get some for your friends, for those you love. Hold on to those as a reminder. Life is difficult. We all have choices to make every day. And sometimes we're human. We falter. We need lots of help. And I ask that when you have those moments, if you see someone having those moments, we all step in and we step up. Because life as you know it can change in a moment. So choose well. God bless you all. Thank you.